Symphonies and operas, songs and choral works, chamber music and solo works. Women composers have left audible traces in the history of music, despite being long consigned to obscurity. The Archive of Women and Music is therefore dedicated to women's music history in all its facets. It collects and preserves media documenting the work of not only women composers, but also conductors, instrumentalists, and musicologists, thus making the archive a unique resource for concert program planning and scholastic research. The history of the archive begins in the late 1970s, when Cologne-based conductor Elke Mascha Blankenburg published an article in the feminist magazine Emma entitled "Forgotten Composers." In it, she posed the question as to the whereabouts of music-making women of centuries past, and called on female musicians, composers, and musicologists to join her in the quest to discover the female side of music history. Shortly afterwards, a group of interested women got together and held their first meetings. They discussed and exchanged ideas and scoured libraries and archives in search of little-known works by female composers, many of which they then performed. Together, the women founded the International Working Group of Women and Music, with the mission of finding, collecting, and performing the compositions of women in the past and present, thereby making them accessible to a broad public. Step by step, they gathered compositions by women composers and documents relating to the history of women's music. The assembly of documents grew into an extensive collection, eventually becoming the Archive of Women and Music. In 2019, its 40th year of existence, the archive's holdings included works by 1,900 female composers. The impressive collection comprises over 25,000 items. Scores, books, magazines, AV media, and rare prints, as well as autograph letters and manuscripts. Among its special treasures are original letters by Clara Schumann and an extraordinary collection of postcards on the phenomenon of women's brass bands around the turn of the 20th century. In addition to these gems, numerous bequests from women composers are housed in the archive. They are gradually being cataloged, partially digitized, and made accessible to the public via the Digital German Women's Archive portal. Numerous essays and video interviews with prominent figures in women's music history are also available through this valuable online resource. The archive also published 100 issues of its own in-house magazine entitled Viva Voce. Within those pages were reviews and documentation of concert events and new publications, analyses of works by women composers, and biographical articles drawing attention to the lives and works of forgotten women composers. A severe cut in public funding in 2013 led to the discontinuation of Viva Voce, and the Archive of Women and Music, with its unique collection, was in danger of closing its doors forever. In the following years, though, the archive attracted several projects with outside funding. These projects expanded the archive's range of research and practice, resulting in an increase in public visibility and awareness. Today, the archive is privileged to count among its sponsors the State of Hesse, the City of Frankfurt, the federally financed Digital German Women's Archive, the Marianne Stegmann Foundation, and the Maesenia Foundation.
Daher ist es uns auch als Landesregierung so wichtig.
For this reason, it is of the utmost importance for us in our role as federal state government to continue to financially support this absolutely essential vital work, in particular the promotion of creative women artists and their working conditions.
The archive forms an interface between musicology and music practice and combines elements of both in its daily work. A constant stream of inquiries regarding musical repertoire and music historical sources has allowed the collection to aid in laying the foundation for numerous research projects and concerts. In addition, the archive regularly hosts music events, readings, and symposia. The promotion of female composers is of central importance to the Archive team and its sponsoring association. To this end, the Archive has launched Composer in Residence Fellowships, which offer the next generation of women composers from around the world the chance to live and work in Frankfurt for several months, and the opportunity to become a visible and audible part of women's music history. The Archive of Women and Music promotes female music makers across generations, increases their visibility, tells their stories, and advocates for equal opportunity so that they will no longer be forgotten.
Vernetzen wir uns,
Let us network, reach out to the public, and be courageous. Thank you.